Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Good morning. Happy morning, girl. I am not. I love my girl. It was a great first weekend. So Dr. Mackey was on the parade route yesterday. It was so good. It was great. Thank all of you for coming. I really appreciate it. This is a wonderful time of year for us. This room holds special significance for me and for the people of the city of New Orleans, and it speaks volumes to the work that we are all trying to do together. As you know, in the 5 years that we've been here, we've really turned the finances of the city around. We speak all the time about being one team, one fight, one voice, one city. I've asked all of the different entities in the city of New Orleans to think about what our overall mission is and how you can really help facilitate the growth and the progress of the city. As the 10th anniversary of Katrina comes to us, the people of America will be looking to us to make sure that we spend the money that they send us well, and they will be looking to us, I think, in amazement at how we as a people have turned ourselves around, have moved our city in the right direction, and then really have done some things that I think people did not expect of us. And one of the ways it happened is what I call the New Orleans way, which is everybody understanding that unless we go forward together, we can't go forward at all. The second part being the way we get things done now is through partnerships. The federal government, the state government, the local governments, horizontally and vertically, working together. All of those different governmental entities working with the faith-based community, the not-for-profits, right? Everybody else, and working in ways and in unison to where we invest in the things that matter to everybody. We can't do all things, but if we take all of our resources and we move them into areas that matter, art, science, recreation, right, neighborhood engagement, we can all move the needle dramatically for a group of American citizens that need it in a great way. And everybody in this room represents that integrated approach. One of the things that I've tried to do as mayor of the city of New Orleans is make sure that we direct our resources, whether they come from the general fund, whether they come from trust, whether they come from philanthropy, into the concept of the city of New Orleans is heading in one direction. And it's integrated, and it's holistic, and it's soulful, and it's all about making sure that we invest in individuals, through organizations, and through people like you in this room. You guys are the Army. Y'all have been the ones that have been on the field. You now know from your personal experience that you can see the city moving from 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, when we were in a dark place, and we're actually building the city, not that we were building the city we always wanted to become, and you are the means to that end. You are actually the ones that are making that happen. You're doing the hard work of living, the hard work of governing, the hard work of transforming lives, the hard work of forming a community from a dissection into unity and into purpose. And one of the things we're trying to do with the Wisner funds is to make sure that the application process and the awards of those funds go to individuals that fall into that framework and fall into that mission, so that we can take the cumulative power of everything that you guys do and make it a very force for change. And so in that regard, I know that we can't call everybody up here to speak. We have a number of different individuals that are representing, we think, the breadth of the investments that we have made. And I want to thank the advisory board. I want to thank all the folks that have been working on our staff. I want to thank all of you for the work that you do, because you're the ones that are in the fields tilling the soil. And we have with us today Dr. Calvin Mackey, who is the founder of STEM, Jim Patterson, the executive director of First T, Dawn Fletcher, the executive director of the New Orleans Women's Shelter, Will Stout, the executive director of the Youth Building New Orleans. I don't see Derek Tabb with us, but Roots and Music was on the streets last night. And they are really, it's an unbelievable example of taking young boys and girls from the neighborhoods and using the power of music and using the power of culture to really direct social change. And he may be with us before. As a matter of fact, speak of the angel, Mr. Derek Tabb. Come on in here, Derek. I'm waiting for you. It's great to see you. Right. I was telling you on the streets last night. That's nice to see. So we've always come together. You know, for 300 years we have been really punching way above our weight. We'll celebrate our 300th anniversary in 2018. You all know we'll be a part of it. This year we have distributed grants, 62 grants to local organizations, all of you who were represented in this room. The total amount that has been given away this year has been $1.2 million to all of you that are here with us today. We still have a lot of work to do, and we will be working in the next couple of years to make sure we focus all of our time, our attention into a very simple thing, turning the culture of violence, a culture of disunity, a culture of distrust that has permeated us for a long time into a place of unity, a place of peace, and a place of purpose where every child and every citizen in New Orleans has an opportunity to live in a culturally rich, culturally diverse, and peaceful society. That is what we are moving towards, and that is what you're helping us to do. So I thank you all for the work that you have done. I thank you for the work that you're about to do. We're thrilled to be able to grant to you these proceeds. We leave them in your care. We leave them in your fiduciary control and responsibility, and we know that you're going to produce a fantastic result. So with that, let me call on Dr. Calvin Mackey, followed by Chip Patterson, Don Fletcher, Will Stout, and then Derek, and then I'll come back up and back to me. Please help me welcome Dr. Calvin Mackey.
First, I'd like to say thank you to Mayor Landrieu and the entire committee that felt us worthy of a recipient of the Wisner Foundation grant. I mean, it's going to make a big difference in what we do. I'm the executive director of an organization by the name of STEM NOVA that we founded over a year ago. And in 1 year, we've exposed, inspired, and engaged over 2,200 kids in hands-on project-based activities in STEM. We now have more kids showing up at the non-recreation facilities for STEM than for individual sports. We now have to hire 2 traffic cops just for the crowds that's showing up at the gyms to direct traffic, because kids are not showing up for basketball or football. They're showing up using their hands to actually make and create the future. And the future is now. STEM is today, it's not tomorrow. We have to make sure that all of our children are exposed to the things that they're going to need in the future. Mayor, over a year ago, and you came out to our first event, you said, Calvin, what is your vision? I said, Mayor, my vision is one day having the Superdome floor filled with kids doing STEM. And this Saturday, dude, at the Urban League Schools Expo, we had over 1,000 kids flown through our tables and do STEM for the first time on the floor of the Superdome. That's great. And I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming for the city of New Orleans is this. Last week was National Letter of Intent Day for college students to play football. And every year there's 1 million kids on our parks, in our streets playing football, thinking they're going to be one of the 250 that get drafted and become millionaires. Every year there's 1 million kids playing basketball, dreaming that they're going to be one of the 60 drafted and become millionaires. Every year there's 1 million kids running track, thinking they're going to be the one to win a gold medal and become millionaires. We want the kids in New Orleans coming to the recreational facilities and in the communities doing STEM, dreaming that one day they're going to be one of the 14 million millionaires in the world, or one of the 1,650 billionaires in the world. They're not going to do it with their arms and with their legs, but they're going to do it with their minds, creating a future starting right here. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to all you all who put in hard work out here in the streets. I want our kids to know, it's all right for somebody to tell me no, but I refuse to not have people believe in me. And thank you all for believing in me and believing in what our kids and the possibilities of our kids. As long as we keep believing in them, they're going to believe in themselves. And we're going to turn this thing around. Thank you.
Thank you again. My name is Chip Patterson. I'm the Executive Director of the First Tee of Greater New Orleans. I want to start again by thanking the Mayor's Office, in particular with the grant process that we were able to go through this year, and especially the Edward Wisner family for making a donation program like this available to nonprofits like ours. This actual project for our organization is going to allow us to impact 10,000 students in Greater New Orleans during 2015. In case you don't know anything about the First Tee, we're a nonprofit organization that works with ages 5 to 18. We teach character education, life skills, and healthy habits, and we use the game of golf as a platform to deliver that. And we have partnerships in place with New Orleans Public Schools, where we help train PE teachers to implement our curriculum through the PE classes, and then we also offer our after-school program at local golf So again, this is a great opportunity for our organization. Again, we're going to impact over 10,000 students with a grant through the Wisner contribution. So we're extremely excited about the opportunity to be able to work with additional New Orleans students. And again, I want to thank the mayor and I want to thank the Edward Wisner family for the opportunity to do that in 2015. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Dawn Fletcher with the New Orleans Women's Shelter, and it's an absolute joy to be here. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's grants like this that have the greatest impact on our shelter. I can go on and on with this, but I'm just going to give you like just a small piece. We've grown significantly over the last year. We were just this small shelter serving 20 homeless women and children. We've grown. We have 50 beds now. We've relocated to another facility. Our goal for this year is to serve 125 women and children. Last year we served 156 women and children, taking them off the streets. Just to give you an idea of the impact of this type of funding, we recently took in a family of 5 who was sleeping under a bridge. This is a woman with 5 children. We're now helping her to get on her feet, find employment, and move on to a self-sufficient lifestyle. And we've done that for 33 families last year. So this grant is awesome for us. So I can just say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Mayor Landrieu, the selection committee. It's an honor to be here and speak and represent the nonprofit community. My name is William Stout, and I'm the executive director of Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. We're a small nonprofit rebuilding organization with an educational focus. It's through the support of grants like this that we're able to work to renovate blighted homes throughout the community. It's in partnership with the city and the mayor's office and many of its departments, like Job 1, that we've been able to reduce the blight problem that we have, but also employ young people in this endeavor. Young people like Prince, our assistant construction manager, who joined us today in the audience. Prince started with our organization over 3 years ago today. And since coming on board, he's been a full-time staff member of our organization, but he also went to school, finished his associate's degree in criminal justice, and just as soon as he finished his degree, he re-enrolled at SUNO to get another one. For nearly 10 years, rebuilding organizations have been at the heart of New Orleans recovery, helping countless citizens return home. Without the support of the Wisner donation in the city of New Orleans, much of this work would not be possible. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak here.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Wisner and also the mayor who's been on my team for the last 5 or 6 years now, making Roots of Music a great nonprofit. For those who don't know, Roots of Music is a nonprofit organization serving kids from the age of 9 to 14, teaching music, doing mentorship and academic work by having great help from Tulane University and Xavier University. We're basically right now we're working on building relationship with other universities together help too. But Mayor has been on my team and really made sure that we are focused on getting our kids off the street, giving them a safe environment, giving them somewhere free meals. Everything is totally free at Roots of Music. And also giving them that safe environment to know that they don't have to be on the streets, breaking into cars, stealing, getting into trouble, killing, or getting killed. Giving them that environment where they come in and learning and really going forward with their lives. The Wisner branch help us to continue with that free support. It helps us with the free transportation that we offer, free meals, free instruments, free academic support, and anything else that the kids need. We take them in travel. We've been to Roosevelt, to New York, Chicago, and we also have played at 1,000 gigs in this city. Trying to see us all around. We ask that y'all continue to support Roots of Music, and we thank y'all very much because this grant help us to keep going forward. Thank y'all. Thank you.
of the city of New Orleans. I want you all to be clear about what our mission is. Our mission is to take our young boys and girls, citizens of New Orleans, the future, and create a safe, healthy environment for them to live in so that they can live in a culture of peace. I believe that we have a culture of violence in the city of New Orleans. I don't think it's of recent history. I think it's been with us since the beginning of time. I think it gets passed down from generation to generation, just like a recipe does, just like learning how to play a horn does, just like learning how to become a doctor. I think in some ways violence is very much like a public health threat, and it's like a virus. If I'm correct about that, that means we can find a cure to it. It means that we can change it. It means that we can seize a moment in history and bend it from where it is to where it needs to be, because we have done this before in our history. And our mission, my mission as mayor of the city of New Orleans, serving you in partnership with you, working with you, following you, is to try to find a way to take our intellectual capital, which there's a whole bunch of in this room, our commitment to change, our ability to find the resources, our ability to partner together to move young boys and girls from where they are to a better place, and to use the vehicles that each and every one of you have to achieve that end. As you sit here today and just look at the 5 organizations that are here, we're doing it through golf. He said it's the entree, right, for us to get kids to take them to a better place. Golf is not an end in and of itself. Dr. Mackey, I believe at your first one, we were out at Joe Brown Park. If you have not been out there, go out to that particular space. It began as a small renovation, a little bit of reimbursement money that FEMA was going to give us back. But we stopped for a second, backed up, brought a whole bunch of folks in, and instead of having a $5 million renovation, have turned that into a $30 million renovation, not just putting the field back the way it was, but now having a field of football dreams, a field of track dreams. We have a pool, we now have a community system out there, and we have a beautiful state-of-the-art basketball facility. But we didn't stop there, because that's not just an end in and of itself. For those of us that grew up with Norton, we wanted it to be better, but we didn't want it just to be a facility for recreation. That's when I talked to Dr. Mackey, and I said, this is your space. This is your kid's space. Bring them into this space. That space happens to be in the shadow of Nassau. And Nassau, for those of you that are not aware of this, out of the Michu facility, is today building the rocket boosters that is going to take our next mission to Mars, the unmanned mission and the manned mission. We're actually doing that with engineers from the city of New Orleans. And so Dr. Mackey's vision is not only to use sports, but also to use science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, so that young boys and girls can actually build and construct things that will transform the world through technology. And lest you think that that is an unattainable dream, he has already achieved it. When you go out to Joe Brown Park and you envision in your mind that you're going to watch, Jesuit playing St. Aug or Mac 35 playing somebody, and you walk into the gym and what you see is 1,000 kids building robots, 1,000 kids constructing things, 1,000 kids doing math, you know that the future is already here. When you talk about the social service side of what we do in domestic violence in the city and the needs that we have, being able to provide a safe haven and a safe space is something that was talked about today. You gave your testimony about this young man. That's physical evidence in front of you that the world is going to be a better place. And then, of course, Derek now has, I think, 400 to 500 young men and women who, through music, are being transformed culturally. David Baptiste is standing in the back. David sent me an email the other day. We lost 3 young men from Walker Landrieu this year that were lost in violence on the streets of New Orleans. And although we are at a historic low, all right, of 43 years since 1971 in our murder rate, let me be clear with you, notwithstanding that fact, this is a wonderful thing to take a moment and acknowledge, we are still way too high, and too many of our young boys and girls don't have the alternatives or the method to get to a better place. And so all of you in this room are a means to an end. That is what we are here to do through your specific area of expertise. Dr. Moore, whether it's just the faith-based community, pastor, right? Whether it's golf, whether it's STEM, whether it's roots of music, whatever it is a means to another place. And the Wisner Fund ones are designed not to be an end in and of themselves. They're just a small piece, right? And the way we're doing it now is we want to encourage you to be entrepreneurs. We want to encourage you to create sustainable models over time. And we want to encourage you to get to know each other. My team will tell you that they get tired of you using 3 words: facilitate, link, and leverage. This is what that means. Nobody's got enough of anything to do it all by themselves. The only way we're going to get there is together. And so I try to use my convening power as the mayor of the city of New Orleans to facilitate meetings between everybody that's of like mind. All right? To introduce you to each other, to link you together, and then to help learn how to leverage all of our assets. So as wonderful as today is, $1.2 million in grants, 62 recipients, the power of what each and every one of you is together. Can you imagine what you could do if y'all really got to know each other and you started to work together, leverage each one of the assets? All of a sudden, the entire city gets lifted up like you're riding on the top of a good wave. Not a bad wave, a good wave. Because you know water can be destructive, but it can also be life-giving, right? And so that is what we're trying to do. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you all together, so y'all can see each other, spend some time together, get to know each other, and then to use your relationships to help each other out. I can look around this room and see all kinds of things that y'all can help each other with. And I encourage you to get to know each other, work together, and continue to kind of lean forward so that the city of New Orleans can be the place we all wish you should be. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you all so very much. We're going to follow Alex's direction, and we're pressed. Let's hear if y'all have all topic questions. I'll give it.